Good evening, y'all. It is 12:10 a.m. Friday, June 13th, 2025, and I am here to do a little discussion about my stay at Secrets St. James. Duh. So, now for this, I didn't prepare any notes. Yeah. You just entered one of Lil Wayne's motherfucking interludes. Okay, so what the YouTube girlie say, get your snacks, get your blunts, get your joints, get your drinks. Because here we go. Now, only reason why I say here we go like that and whatnot is because it could be long, but I'm going to try to keep this 30 minutes and under. Because I don't necessarily want to make this a full experience review. I really came on here to talk about the resort in itself. So I guess I can do both. But, I'll spend a bit of time talking about the trip in itself. And then I'll spend a little time talking about the resort. Okay? So, got there. First of all, airports are like, if somebody's never been to an airport before and they don't know what the fuck to look for and what the fuck is going on, airports could be a big deal to somebody, especially somebody who's consistently anxious. And I'm not saying that that's me, because I'm not always anxious. But when I think about the airport, I always think about chaotic and hectic. And yes, it was that. But coming from the small city that I'm in, it wasn't really hectic. Well, it wasn't hectic leaving out from my city. So I had to have, I'm sorry, I'm just checking the mic. I had to get on, I had to get on 2 planes. So I had to obviously have a connector, and then the connector will take me on my way. For some reason, I keep thinking I've been riding 6 planes this whole trip, but I'm like, girl, you did not ride 3 planes going to Jamaica, nor did you ride 3 planes going back. Am I tripping? No, it was 2. It was from here to Washington, and then from Washington to, yeah, girl, 2 planes. I'm having such a total high blonde moment, excuse me. Anyways, it might be a little long if I'm being silly and goofy like that, but I'm sorry. I'm here and I'm giving you a serious review. Even if it doesn't sound serious, I am. So, coming from out of Ohio, everything was calm. Nobody was at the fucking airport. I obviously got there early, like 3 hours early, which was perfectly fine. So the issue became to when I had to make this Washington flight so I can reach Jamaica, right? And everything has a time, so I can't just be lollygagging and shit. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh, the fucking flight is delayed, which means I'm gonna be leaving out of Ohio late to make my connecting flight to get to Jamaica. So I'm gonna miss that motherfucking flight and gonna have to arrive in Jamaica a whole other day after. That's what was about to happen. So, yeah, and I'm naming names. United. I started off in Ohio with United. And so, an hour or so in, we find out that our flight is going to be like an hour or so late. And so I'm just like, well, fuck, hold on. I got to be at the other airport to fucking make the flight make the flight to Jamaica. What is you talking about? By the time the flight, by the time the plane get to Ohio, the one I'm supposed to get on in Washington gonna be gone, baby. What is you talking about? So I had to, just like everybody else, go up to the front, and I had to explain what the fuck was going on. And we had to try to change my tickets. I'm sorry, I said hopefully. Hopefully I'm not talking too loud. I got this little mic on my chest, and I don't know if I sound like a fucking bear right now. Anyway, so yeah, that was an issue. So I talked to the lady. She said, well, unfortunately, you're gonna have to take a flight that's leaving out tomorrow, because honestly, this is the last flight that's gonna be able to get you to where you need to go. So if it's late and you find yourself being late to catch that connecting flight, then you're kind of asked out, because you won't make the flight. So basically she was telling me, catch the later flight so I can at least be in Washington. And then the next day, thank you, United, I was gonna have to just wake up in Washington and obviously continue the rest of my trip, but a day after I was supposed to, which meant I was gonna have to change a bunch of stuff with the resort and just do a bunch of extra stuff. And mind you, this is the first time I'm going out of the state, you feel me? Going out of America, the United States. My first time. Yes, I'm very late when it comes to a lot of things. The thing is, I fucking made it. But I was worried, because she's like, okay, so yeah. And then she gave me all these food vouchers. I was going to be able to stay for free in a hotel, which I was low-key excited about. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the best of this. I'm going to be in a whole new place. I've never been to Washington before. Fuck it. If I got to stay the night in a hotel, hopefully it's well kept and safe. And, maybe I can see what's going on around. So I was low-key looking forward to it. But then I thought about it like, well, damn, I'm probably going to have to do a whole bunch of moving shit around, just because now I have to get in contact with the transportation that's going to get me from the airport in Jamaica to the resort. So I had a whole lot to fucking change if I didn't get on this plane at the correct time. So I was just gonna, stay overnight in Washington, because really I had no other choice. So she gave me all this free stuff. And then I get a notification on my phone, like, basically saying, well, your flight's not gonna be late, but it's gonna be a little late. Like, it's not gonna be late, but it's still gonna be a little late. So I'm like, well, what the fuck y'all saying? Because I ain't got time to be wondering if I'm gonna make this flight or not. Like, I need to know something now so I can plan ahead what the fuck I'm finna do. I'm already got my mindset of I'm about to go stay. I'm about to get on this plane and just stay in Washington, not knowing if I'm still going to be able to even connect the connector, get on the connecting flight. So it's just like, okay. So plane comes, everybody was a little pissed off, because everybody damn near got connecting flights. So they're like, well, shit, ain't nobody else trying to have us go nowhere else. We can't go to, I guess, Delta wasn't gonna take us, or I don't know. It was a bunch of, airport nonsense, because who knows? I don't know if I could work in a motherfucking airport, especially if I got to deal with folks all day, every day like that. Long story short, we get on the plane, we land just in time. My ass had been eavesdropping, because when I go to places like this where it's a bunch of random people, I like to kind of observe and watch people like I'm watching movies and shit. Now, I know I probably said that and it sounds weird. Mind you, I'm not staring at folks with a bucket of popcorn and a drink and shit and just watching them. But I like to chill, sit back, you know, maybe have a little headphone in or something. And I like to observe everybody. And I like to observe the room, the people that I'm going to be getting on this motherfucking plane with. So I noticed that it was a couple there and they were with a little child, whatever, and they was like, well, we got to get to Jamaica, blah, 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 blah. And my little antennas perked up. I said, oh, Jamaica? So then I'm like, all right, so if they getting on the plane with me, they obviously got to be getting on the connecting flight. So they probably worried about, well, goddamn, if we gonna make it. So I let it ride out until we all got on the plane. So before the plane took off, I just kept hearing them. I kept hearing the wife or the woman or whatever. And she was like, man, I hope we make it. I don't know. It's basically, if we make it, then hallelujah or good or something she was saying. And then I was like, so y'all going to Montego Bay, Jamaica? And I was like, yeah, we going to Secrets or whatever. And I was like, bet. I'm going to be following y'all because I'm going to be following y'all. And she was like, all right, cool. And so we got off the plane. Lord have mercy, we had to run. On the announcements, they was telling us like, yeah, some of y'all got connecting flights we see, and we talking to them to see if they gonna stick around or not, and we'll let you know when we get there. So we all like on the edge of our seats like, well, shit, we need to know because we gotta figure some stuff out if not. And so we land, they like, all right, we got X amount of minutes before this takeoff. They're at this gate, here, and there. I'm thinking, okay, so they waiting. So I ain't never done this before, but ain't nobody else get up. Me, and it's funny because the people that was going to the same place I was going to, they was literally sitting right behind me. It was a mother, it was a father, and it was a little boy. They was sitting right behind me and shit. And so she was like, well, we gotta go. And so I just got up because I was first and shit. So I just got up and I just like rushed to the front. Ain't nobody else was up, nobody nothing. I rushed to the motherfucking front and they was behind my ass. So I'm like, well, fuck, now I really gotta go. And so like I got off the plane, and then when I seen them zoom past me, I'm like, oh, damn, they serious. Because I ain't know where I was going for real. Like, because it's fucked up because, like, when you need your phone and stuff to work, that's when the phones want to be slow and be all janky and weird. Because I'm trying to check in and do this and see where the gate at and see, because I'm just making sure my ass got to triple and quadruple check the gate because my ass be paranoid. I be like, I need to make sure 4 or 5 times because fuck around, I might be at the wrong gate. And they like, well, bitch, you're not even supposed to be over here. Your plane took off fucking 2 hours ago. Where was you? No. I needed to know. So that's why I said I'm following them, because I couldn't get my shit to work. We had to run. When y'all see those movies and they being dramatic and they like running with a bag of their clothes and shit, and they zipping in and out and shit, running through people with a bunch of stuff looking crazy. I had to do that in a packed ass airport in Washington. Packed ass airport, but I wasn't the only one because they was leading. That little boy had to run. The mama was leading because she said, fuck that, we making this plane. The daddy was like, oh shit, he trying to keep up. I'm behind, like I'm with y'all. So we made it. They had the door open. You feel me? First family got through. My ass like, okay, I'm here. My ass out of breath. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I had to run. But you know what? I thank God I had some sneakers on, because my bitch ass was gonna wear some platform little chunky sandals. Woo! They already knew, bitch, you might have to run. You gonna need to go ahead and throw on them lace-ups real quick, because I had to run. I was out of breath. I'm like, I can't check in. My phone not working. She said, oh, you ain't check in yet. You know how they get on that motherfucking keyboard and get the typing and shit. You like, okay, yeah, she doing something. She said, all right, cool. Click, click. Got on the plane. Set the fuck down. We in there like swimwear. Shit, you know what? I ran to that plane. I'm proud of myself because shit, if I was on some lazy shit, or if I was on some I'm not running for that plane, I would have missed that plane, because they literally was like, I don't know how long they would have waited around if I would have dragged and lagged behind them folks, because them folks was pushing it and I had to keep up with them. Woo! I made it though. And it was not a long travel. It wasn't. It didn't seem long when I got to Washington, nor did it seem long when I finally got on the plane to go to Jamaica or whatever. And so Jamaica's airport is a bit chaotic. Now, mind you, it was midday. It was like 3 o'clock or something, so it was probably everybody up in there. But it was a lot going on. And it's like, if you somebody who don't pay attention, you'll probably fuck around and be lost, or possibly, I don't know, going somewhere where you don't know where you're not supposed to be. I don't know. It was chaotic and it was a bit confusing. But I will say it was a bit more confusing when I was coming home. When I got to Jamaica, it was cool. It was a hell of a lot of people, and you really had to pay attention because they was telling you where to go and telling you what to do, and you had to scan shit, and you had to do this, and you got to meet up with people in the blue and shit, and you had to make sure that was the right blue, because you might get confused and think that blue was the blue when really it wasn't, and you just like, Found who I needed to find, signed up. Then I found more people that was with the group of people that I was going to meet. It's like a family vacation type deal, and anybody who wanted to go can go, and you can bring whoever you want. So I found some people that I never met before, but I kind of zoned in, like, I'm pretty sure these might be the people. So I asked them, and honestly, it was. So I was following them just to be sure I'm going where I'm supposed to be going. We all got on our transportation, but as soon as we get outside, I go and look for the transportation. Like, oh, over there. He was like, you want some weed? You smoking? You this? You that? This is the guy at the airport that works at the airport with the transportation companies that's taking us to the resort from the airport. He is instantly asking me about weed. I'm like, well, goddamn, I just asked you where the van at, cuz you was like, and so me trying to be nice and cool, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Is it legal? Is it this? What you doing? Like, I was a little confused. Yeah, I'm that one that's a little on the, I guess, the square side, because I'd have been like, hold on, is this a trick, my nigga? What is you doing? Yeah, I thought you was with the airport. What, you talking about weed? You talking about selling it? But he brought me to where I needed to go. And then I said, all right, okay, let's see. He pulled it out, whatever. I gave him some money for it, because obviously it wasn't free. I said, okay, well, I need a lighter. I need some papers. I need some something. And so he provided the lighter. He provided the papers, and he provided the weed. And he led me to my transportation. Got on the transportation. And I absolutely I don't know about that interaction, because it's like, they will bombard you with weed. I think I was asked aggressively to purchase weed, whether it be edibles, brownies, just any of that, joints, the actual flour, all of that. I was probably offered that shit. I kind of want to say probably every day that I was there on the resort. Every day that I was in Jamaica, especially if I went outside of Jamaica. When I went outside of Jamaica, it was non-stop. Non-fucking stop. Okay, so let's get to it. Arrive in Jamaica, boom, we here. I walk in. I'm meeting my cousin for the first time. that I've never met before, but she usually goes on these trips. So I met up with her, and I can tell you what, we had a motherfucking ball. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm such a loner that I really don't have female friends like that. I have male friends, but it's like male friends that at this point, I'm just like, hey, you want to go kick it or have dinner or something, or we just catching up and we talking about each other's lives and blah, 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 blah. But at this point, it's like I don't really be kicking it and going out and hanging with people. I just kick it and hang out with myself. So I was nervous, like, well, damn, am I really gonna be able to interact with her comfortably? Because at times, when I'm not comfortable with a person, I'm usually extremely quiet. And I tend to be like on the, not even standoffish, it's just more quiet and reserved, because I'm not yet sure if I can be super comfortable around you, because it's just something in me that's like, nah, just be chill. And so I was wondering, because I'm like, damn, I want to, be here and have fun and be comfortable. But when I met her, I instantly felt the energy, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna work. And we had a absolute ball. So shout out to her. So getting to the room, we had a 2-bedroom. Obviously, the beds were huge, big, clean. I appreciate them. I didn't have any problems with the bed. No problems with the bed. The room was fine. Like, it was actually big enough for the both of us, because it wasn't too small to where we were constantly bumping into each other. I feel like the room for 2 people, especially a room for 2 people that are not being like intimate and stuff, it's a good size. It's a huge balcony, nice and open. It was fine for me. The issue I had, I had a double sink, which was very nice. And it had a huge, very deep pool, which I got to use, which I thought was also very nice. The shower, I did enjoy. It was, very simple. It had the nice shower head that was coming down on you, as well as the independent shower head that you can hold in your hand and use and rinse off and whatever. Perfectly fine. Separate bathroom off to the left of my room or whatever, next to the bathroom. Next to the shower, but obviously it's disconnected because it has walls and doors on it to kind of separate it, which I do like. I like that. I like that the bathroom has a different door and whatnot. I think it should be a bit bigger. A bit bigger space in there, just so it can be kind of comfortable, because to shut that door and to be in there using the bathroom, it's a bit much because it's just a little too tight. But one thing I will say about the room and the cleanliness, it was like rust or something that was in the toilet little room that was on the side coming from the shower and whatnot. And I'm like, I wish they would have got that up, because literally every time I went into the bathroom, I looked at it just because I knew it was there, and it kind of bothered me. So I didn't appreciate that. Like, the room itself, looking at it, you can tell it was touched. But as far as like going through and possibly just really wiping down or mopping down everything that was kind of super visible, because that rust was super visible, and it wasn't like rust that was actually on a piece of the door or the wall or anything. It was like rust that was cracked and fell off and sitting on the floor, which is like, okay, I get they're probably in a rush because it's like a quick turnover possibly, but just to keep it good. And I never understood this, because I've worked as a housekeeper a long ass time ago for a little bit of time, and they want you to rush through them fucking rooms too quick, which is why I get why those rooms be sometimes lacking, because a lot of the times the managers and whatnot will rush you to get that room done. You might have 10 minutes or so with one person doing a room that size, and they want you to do all of it quickly. And it's like, you're not necessarily gonna get you know, all of this done properly in that amount of time, especially when you rushing. It's just not gonna happen that way. So I do understand that, but that, I don't know, the customer service or whoever runs hospitality need to get to that. Give these women and men, whoever's cleaning these rooms, more time to actually clean them, or else they're going to be missing simple things like this. Now, the rust on the floor bothered me. There were little like smudges in the the bathtub that would not come off. Now, I'm not sure if that was dirt. I obviously didn't have much to clean it with, but I did do my best to clean it and get it off. But it doesn't necessarily look like a stain. It possibly looks like somebody had their shoes on in the tub and they left like a scuff mark or something. So that, it was the temperatures, not temperatures. Well, yeah, the temperatures, the room level, the coolness. Room was perfect. Coming back from being outside literally all day in that sun, coming back to that room was a safe haven. Because there were times where it was just like, you're so wet and it's like the heat is just wet, you know. And so when you come inside, you like, oh, you feel like you're starting to regain a bit of energy because you just lost all of it sweating and shit. So the cooling system and shit was fine. Now, I did notice the plug in the wall that was holding the iPad where you can do the room service and stuff. That was pretty fucked up. I don't know. It was pulled completely out the wall and like the covering was just hanging off. And so I don't know what was going on with the iPad, but it was like every now and again it just wouldn't turn on at all. And we weren't even using the iPad for it to be dead or anything. Like, we weren't even using it. We picked it up a couple times to figure out how to do room service. Which, me personally, I didn't want to deal with it. I just called each time and just placed my order in over the phone. But my cousin, she did want to try to figure it out on the iPad. I think she did. But at the same time, it was just like that iPad kept fucking up. It kept talking about reboot. And I'm like, we're not even using this. So they probably need to replace some of the technology in here because this is not working. Or maybe it's because somebody pulled the plug out the wall. And now you got the wires just dangling off freely behind here. So that was an issue. Can't really use the iPad because it was malfunctioning. I found the TV amusing. When I say the TV, like what they were playing on TV. So we found ourselves keeping it on Cartoon Network. And we were watching Total Drama Island and this little Bear show. And I just thought it was amusing because it's like they kept showing trailers of, I was about to say Flapjack, but trailers of Gumball. And I'm like, they don't got Gumball on Cartoon Network yet like they do in the States? And it was like, no, they don't got it yet. I was like, oh, their Cartoon Network is very interesting and it was cute. And I found myself watching it when I was in the room. So that was a cute thing. I don't really know if that was necessary to say, but that was a cute thing. So Sam gets in the room like crazy, and I did not realize how much motherfucking Sam we was tracking in because I found myself walking around like, God damn, is the beach in here or is the beach outside? Because we got a lot of motherfucking sand in here. So what we did was we didn't really have the hotel staff come in and out to keep cleaning our rooms day by day. A couple days in, we like, okay, we gonna have them come in and clean up or whatever and get the sand and stuff up out of here. And when we came back, it was done and it was good. So that was good that they actually did that. They actually realized sand's gonna get in the room and they do go ahead and they mop it out and clean it out. So that was perfect. Overall, to me, the room itself was fine. Now, let's talk about service. Service was amazing. I see why they love Jamaica. I see why a lot of people love Jamaica. It's because the men's in their service. Now, I am going to say specifically their men. Jamaican men at these resorts, or at least the one that I went to. And again, I went to Secret St. James, but I got to walk around and be a part of pretty much all of the resorts, because it was a couple nights where I would wake up super early, like 3-4 in the morning, and I would walk around the whole set of resorts. And it was like, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 resorts on one little piece of land. And so the service from the men is absolutely superb. They make you feel so welcome, so nice, so kind. The ladies, I will say, the ladies up front that are working in Secret St. James at the desk, the service desk, and at the like check-in desk, at both desks, the ladies in there are really, really nice too. They make you feel really, really nice, and they are welcoming. The men all over, they love them some women. I don't know if it's because it's an American thing, or I don't even know if it's because I'm chocolate and I'm dark skinned. I low-key think it was because I'm dark skinned. It was on me like shit on rice, let me tell you. Wait, does that even make sense? Shit on rice? Anyways, pretend you didn't hear that. But you get what I'm saying, right? So Jamaican men are super, super nice. They call women there princesses, empress, sweetheart. I'm like, oh my God, they're so nice. Now, I don't know if they were expecting a tip, because honestly, you can tell when somebody is being ungenuine, you can tell. And so these men were like being really legit. And I am a girl that loves good service. Like, even if the meal is trash, if the service was really, really good, I would at least give the place a chance again. Because if the service is bomb, I'm there. I love a good service team. I do. So at the buffet, though, it's a different story. At the buffet, buffet is really, really good, by the way. I enjoyed both the lunch and the breakfast. Only thing is, I wish it would stay open longer, because what? I wish we can get a dinner buffet. I mean, what? The buffet was one of the best parts. I low-key wish I could eat more. The beginning of the trip, for some reason, I wasn't super hungry, but towards the end of the trip, I wanted to eat. So the buffet closing super early, for both breakfast and lunch, and then not having a dinner buffet, that was kind of disappointing, because at the same time, you didn't necessarily want to go to the Jamaican Mexican, or the Jamaican French, or the Jamaican Italian, or the Jamaican Asian that they had. You didn't really want to go there. You wanted to go to the buffets to get a little bit of everything. So that was that. At the buffet and their service, the women there were kind of lackluster, and you could tell that they were tired, and it's not something that they have fun with. Versus the men, they actually enjoy their job. Now, I don't know if it's because maybe the women don't want to, don't want to be all kiss ass to the women, but I'm not sure how they treat the men. I just noticed me and my cousin walking around, the men would stop randomly and just talk to us, like legit talk to us, and just really engage, And they're not talking sexual. They're not talking crazy. They're asking about us, asking where we from. And we asking, have you been here and done this? And they're inviting us to do X, Y, and Z. Like, a lot of these men at these resorts are really, really kind and genuine. And the women, they obviously just want to get that paycheck. They're not super, super friendly. There's a couple instances we went to restaurants, and the server was a young lady, and she was just like going through the motions. You could tell she was counting down the minutes, the hours, the fucking time until she was able to clock off. And a lot of the times it was like that for a lot of the women. They had no enthusiasm about what they were doing. And that's no fault to them, because honestly, I wouldn't be able to do a job like that. I wouldn't be able to be a server, because having to see people every day, especially foreigners and stuff, and, you know, I got to serve them and all that. I don't know. I probably wouldn't be too enthused either. But the men, they eat it up. They eat it up. They eat it up. They eat it up. So, I will talk about the mishap that happened, which fully fucking disgusted me. So much to the point where I'm going to take a break. Hold on. So, Tuesday, my money got stolen. Tuesday, my money got motherfucking stolen. Now, this is what happened. The whole bag got snatched. Me and my cousin on the beach. Mind you, I can't swim. So I'm not going to be out nowhere near in the middle to be swimming nowhere, because I can't swim. But I do enjoy the water. So we at the beach. It's dark. Now, it's not dark to the point where you can't see anybody or anything. But a bit down towards the beach part where we were, you know, you can't really see stuff in the chair unless you low-key been watching or you really looking to steal some shit. And so, mind you, my bag is in the chair, my cousin's bag, both our shoes, pants, shirts, all of our clothing and whatnot. I hid my stuff underneath, you know, my clothes. So, I didn't see anybody walk by. It wasn't nobody in the water with us when we went to the beach. It was nobody there. Me and her both agreed that we only seen one Caucasian couple walk the fuck by. So, yeah. It's time to go. I'm going to, you know, get my stuff. And I just know my shit there. I just know my shit there, because really, you can't even tell that stuff is in that chair for real. Unless, like I said, you really watching us or you looking for shit to steal. I look for my shit. I find my shoes. I find my top and all that, my bottom. I don't find no motherfucking little bag. Now, this ain't no tiny ass bag, but it also ain't, you know, super big. It's like one of those little crossbody. I just bought the bitch too that very day. It's a little Jamaican bag I bought. And it had all the important shit in it. And mind you, yeah, I shouldn't have had that stuff in it. Thinking about it, I shouldn't have had it. But I was just, you know, you don't be, well, me personally, I ain't thinking about, oh, my shit gonna get stolen. My shit gonna get stolen. I'm literally right here looking at my shit as we sitting out here. I'm looking at my stuff. I'm looking over here. So, like, huh? I get up, the whole bag gone. I goes to flipping over the chairs, flipping. I'm acting like a motherfucking big ass, crazy ass kid right about now. I'm flipping shit over. I'm hollering. I'm screaming. I'm looking everywhere. I'm hyperventilating, because why? My passport in there, my money in there, my ID and all of that shit in there. Both my cell phones was in there. It's like I literally had nothing. If they would have kept the whole bag, I wouldn't have had jack. I would have lost everything. You feel me? I wouldn't have been able to get home. I really wouldn't have been able to contact nobody except for somebody else's phone. My shit would have been gone. My shit would have been missing. My shit would have been missing. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sitting outside and somebody just rode by. And I don't know. It's one of them creepy situations. Like, motherfucker, do I know you? Why you over here? You ain't got no reason to be over here. Anyway, I'm sidelined like a motherfucker. But my money was stolen, and so they took the whole bag. So I'm going to post a couple clips, a couple videos I did of my trip. I'm just having trouble getting them together and whatnot. But I'm going to be posting bits and pieces of the trip. So, I'm crying. I'm doing all of that. It's been hours. I'm talking to security. Finally, they fucking found my bag. They bring me the bag. I'm like, it's got to be a catch, bro. So they bring me the bag. I'm happy. I'm like, bro, don't get too happy because you know shit can still be fucked up. So I get the bag. First thing I go to my little organizer where I keep my money and all that shit with the passport and everything. I got to be organized. I'm a fucking Capricorn. So I go in, I look. The passport there, thank God. My license, my cards and shit still there. Okay, thank God, thank God. All the motherfucking cash is gone. Oh, good things though. Both my cell phones was in there because I was worried about them motherfuckers. I'm like, damn, they gonna take my cell phones, bro. So, cell phones is in there. All my cash gone. I had 50s. I had a little bit of 20s. I had a little bit of 10s. I had a little bit of 5s. I had a whole lot of 1s because I was tipping people. Now, maybe I shouldn't have did that then because my ass was thinking that was the right thing to do because when I get good service, I want to show gratitude for that shit. You feel me? And it was a lot of people that was really doing their job and they actually enjoyed it versus some people who was just like, yeah, bitch, what the fuck you want? Like, you know? So they stole all the cash. So, mind you, I'm still upset because it was a good amount of money. It was a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. And my thing is, I don't know why I went with that much money. I was thinking, to be honest, I was gonna do more excursions. But then I realized how they were doing the excursions. They were lumping like 5 or 6, or they were lumping a couple of them in at one time with one price. And I didn't want to do all of that. I didn't want to do all the excursions. So I'm like, well, that would be a waste of more money. But anyway, I lost all the motherfucking money. So somebody stole my money on the beach at the fucking resort. And so they give it back. I got to write a statement. Did that. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me see the cameras. You said whoever found it at the deck, the pool deck. You got cameras because there's a bar and stuff over there. I got cameras, right? I've been going all around this motherfucking resort and I've been seeing CCTV everywhere. Pull up the cameras. And then he was like, well, we don't know if the person that dropped it off was the person that stole it. I get that, but we should see 2 people then. We should see the person that dropped it off at the pool deck, and we should see the person that found it and brought it up to security, lost and found, or whatever. We should see 2 people. I want to see these people. I just want to see. I need to know. And so it was like a battle for him trying to see, for me trying to see, because I wanted to see. I walked back up to security in their whole motherfucking robe. I was feeling comfortable and pissed off at the same damn time. So them going back and forth with him about that, about letting me see the cameras, and he like, okay, well, I'm writing your report as we speak, and I'm sending it off to the higher up, and then we'll have to go from there. So basically, I wasn't able to see the cameras. So from there on, like that night, that Tuesday night, my night was fucked up. It was fucked up. Like, so far, the trip had been good. The trip had been great. Everything was fun. I was happy to be there. Everything was cool. But then once that happened, it ruined my fucking night. And I was like, you know what? I want to go fuck home now. Because it's like, now, honestly, I'm just saying that because I was in the moment knowing damn well I can't go home right then and there. I mean, if I wanted to, I really could. But, bitch, you just lost all your money. You about to really spend another couple $100 just to get back home early to miss your trip? Nah. So that's when I took a hot ass bath. You know, I made a couple videos. I watched a couple videos. Not made videos like nasty. I made videos talking about the situation. And And then I just, started to reevaluate, and I had to get my mindset right. I can always gain more. I can always earn and make more. But it's funny because the universe is like this. Well, look, bitch, this was about to happen. Yeah, your money just got stolen, but watch this. So my supervisor motherfucking text me, talk about, well, I know you on vacation. I usually don't do this, but blah, 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 blah. Do you want to pick up some more hours for this month? I said, ha! Oh, okay. So I'm going to make all that money back plus then there when I'm making all that and then some, right? I said, hell yeah. Boom. More hours, more overtime, extra pay. I'm rebuilding what was taken from me. So it's funny. It's a fucked up, funny type of situation, but it's like at the end of the day, what more can I do? I did tell the travel agent, I did send her an email, and I sent her the picture of what they sent me to try to get back in contact. My thing is their timing was so off because that next couple days, they didn't get back to me until like close to the last day. So I had an excursion to do to get on the catamaran and snorkel and shit in the middle of the sea and all of this crap. So I was gone all damn day, and they finally get back to me. So I get in the room probably about 9 o'clock or something p.m. before the night I gotta leave in the morning at 10 a.m. And they talking about, hey, we heard what happened, we this, we that, get back with us, do this, meet up with, blah, blah, blah. So basically, I obviously couldn't call when I got there because, she wouldn't be there. It was like the head of human resources or something, hospitality, something like that. She was the head of it, obviously. So the next morning, I called. They told me to be downstairs by that time to meet her. I'm down there by that time to meet up with this lady to talk about my situation, to see what I can do as far as my money. Now, I realize I'm not going to get my money back, but I'm wondering if there's something that I can get, for having this experience on this trip. Because again, I mean, y'all could have looked at them cameras real quick and seen who went where what and try to find out who room they in or if these people work here. Because to be honest, and I hate to say it, to be honest, I'm thinking it was somebody who actually worked there. Because I remember this is kind of getting off towards the end of the trip, but I'm going to try to tie it in real quick. So it makes me think it was somebody that works there simply because early that same morning, same day that my stuff was stolen, I went to the beach extremely early. It was like, could have been like 3-4 in the morning. I went to the beach. It was still a bit dark outside. I went to the beach. Sun was starting to come up, and I was out there for a while by myself. And so I didn't have a towel, so I seen this dude, he was working, like taking out the trash and stuff. And I'm like, hey, can I have a towel? Where's the towel? So he went to get me a towel. And so he was really nice, and he was like, I'm going to bring you some mangoes and this, that, and the third. And I said, okay, cool, thanks. So I just gave him a couple dollars because he went, not all the way across from where we was at, but, he went out of his way to get me a towel, basically. So, he said he gonna bring me some mangoes, which he did. He brought me 3 huge mangoes, and I took them back to the room. Didn't eat them or anything, but they smell good. But then later on in the trip, after my money got stolen, I seen him towards the end of my trip. It was one of those nights where I was just out super late by myself or super early by myself. It was dark outside. I think it might have been like 5 in the morning now. And I was at the other side of the resort, and I seen that same dude who brought me the mangoes and the towel who I tipped. I seen him like taking out trash and shit, but it was weird because it was like, I looked at him. I was like sitting at a restaurant table. Obviously nobody's out. I was taking videos and footage and shit. So I sit at a restaurant table or whatever, just like recording, being online. I think it's like on Facebook Live or something, just like recording myself and shit. He seen me and I seen him. And it was like the weirdest thing, because it was like when he seen me, it was like he was trying not to notice that I was there. You feel me? Like he was trying to avoid me. And honestly, it was weird because it made it seem like he was the one that took it, or he knows something about what happened with it. I say that because it was just the timing of both situations. He's already somebody who he's taking out the trash. He's out super late. He was out super early. You feel me? The first time we talked, he was very, hospitable. He was nice. He was cool. He was smiling. He was interactive. Like, I didn't even have to like flag him down or nothing. He was like going to take his trash and he looked up at me. He was like, hey, good morning, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when I said what I said. Can I get a towel? Where's the towels? Whatever. And so it was like to see him the second time after the situation, he looked at me and kind of like tried to hurry up and look the other way and shit. Like he didn't see me. And I don't know. It was a super weird ass feeling. If you follow me on Facebook and you like watch that live, I actually said something about it to where like I pointed the camera and shit at him. I mean, obviously I'm not in his face, but I zoomed in on him. It was a really weird interaction because it's like, you wasn't acting like this before when you seen me. You acting real suspicious. And that's not to say that he got to talk to me anytime he see me. But what I've noticed is all these men, they will speak to you regardless. Black, white, man, female. If you walking by them or whatever, no matter what time of day it is, they'll say something to you like, hey, or good morning, or whatever the fuck. They'll say something to you. But the fact that you looked at me and then hurry up and looked away, and your energy was like, ooh, let me hurry up and go. His energy was like, let me hurry up and go. It was real weird. Because it's like, I don't know. Is you watching? Is you watching? Y'all probably think, bitch, what are you talking about? That don't sound like he took it. I don't know. It was too much of a coincidence because I met up with him. It was either super early or super late. First time I seen him, it was super early. He was making his rounds, taking out the trash. Now, mind you, he was riding a little cart and he was closer to the beach because he would get off the cart and he would go down to get the trash or whatnot. So I'm honestly, it could have been anybody, who the fuck knows. But the fact that that interaction took place, it made something go off in me. Like, yeah, he may not have took it, but I don't know. He got to know something about it. Because honestly, I think it had to be somebody who worked there and may have seen me with it. Or because my thing is, nothing else was touched. Nothing else was touched. Our shoes wasn't touched. She had a bag with phones and stuff in it. Her stuff wasn't touched. It was just mine. So I'm like, bro, what is y'all doing? What kind of thieves is y'all? Like, are y'all targeting me or y'all watching me? Like, y'all don't know what the fuck was in this other bag. Are y'all looking in the bags? Because if y'all looking in the bags, y'all got x-ray vision because it's dark as fuck over here. You can barely even see that this stuff is in this chair unless you are actually watching us or you are looking for stuff to steal. So I'm just like, you steal my stuff, but you leave everything else here. And again, not to say that anybody else's stuff should have been stolen, but my thing is just weird when there's two small bags there, like two small, like fanny pack, crossbody like bags. None of this is like name brand or anything special either. So it's like y'all just grab my shit, not knowing what else was in this bag. I don't know what the fuck it was. That's why it just made me seem like it was something a little bit more deliberate, and it wasn't just like a random thing that happened, and it wasn't just like somebody who is just visiting the resort. To me, it felt like it could have been somebody who actually worked there. And it's not to take away from everybody else in their service, because again, the majority of the men have been absolutely pleasant and charming. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's just them doing the job or if they just super flirty or what it is, but they are super, super kind. And it's appreciated, it's appreciated. But the women, they could be a little harsh. But it is what it is. No offense against anybody, but yes, my money was fucking stolen from that resort, and I didn't get no resolve. But hopefully the travel agent that I did get all my information with, because other people in our group had complaints, hopefully we will get that resolved. I'm sure we will. That doesn't stop me from wanting to come back, because honestly, I'm trying to plan my next trip. So hopefully they can give me like a couple free days or something. Am I asking for too much, bitch? The amount of money was stolen from me, I probably could have got 2-3 extra motherfucking days. Damn. But it is what it is. Jamaica was lovely. Jamaica was so much fun. I enjoyed the catamaran. I would do that again, and I would do it for a lot longer. Now, our trip was weird. The middle of our catamaran trip was rain the fuck out. The waves was choppy. People was floating and falling. Everybody was wet. Everything was wet. The DJ stuff started to malfunction because it was wet. Like, y'all didn't plan for this, did y'all? It was so fun, though. They started to play gospel music because they were scared. And I'm like, but this is fun. And me, I am a girly who does not like water. Part 2.